Good evening, teacher and students. In this moment, my partner Andrea Bamon and I, Nicole Lozada, we presentation of the What Future for Europa and what is on the European Union agenda. Let's start then.
Okay, let's start. The first aspect is solidarity of European integration. In this part, talking about the three objectives that this aspect. The first is positive impact of employment, health, housing, education, and civil participation. In this part, talking about the initiative such as internal democracy, transparency, pluralism, recognitions, preparedness, and meetings. The second objective aspect is positive change in the political and social sector. In this part, talking about indicators help to identify the social and political impact of solidarity initiatives, analyze their acts of solidarity that taken about throughout Europa to find to the impact on employment and health, housing, education, and civil participation. And finally, objective is initiative of the European Solidarity Corps project. This is of the creating jobs for young people. There's in this aspect talking about the create opportunities for young people. First, of the people talking about opportunities collaborate on projects and country on abroad that benefit community and science across Europa, so that can pay off the university degree. Okay, the second part, this aspect is the increase in production and sufficient resource for the entire population. This aspect talking about three objectives. The first is food safety in Europa. This aspect talking about how they need to rebuild the European continent and fight the population was facilitated an extraordinary technological tools for the production. Talking about the agriculture sector, the widespread adoption of the green revolutions paradigm led to a significant increase in food production. The second objective is modern agriculture production system. This talking about the agriculture production system and soil for agriculture productivity per hectares had increased considerable, especially during the second half of the 20th century, given its diversity of agriculture sector and climates. The third and finally objective is agriculture policy, environment legislations, and finance resources. This aspect talking about the European Union Common legislation, agriculture policy plays an important role in that regard. Recent reform has almost completely eliminated the relationship between the farmers and the volume of production compliance with environment legislation is now required for financial resources and the green measure of the mandatory. The third part is the creation of the euro and European Central Bank for the different functioning of market. In this part, talking about the two aspects very important that is euro and central bank. The first is euro. The euro is economic stability for the positive for the economy because the member state as it allows the government to plan for the future, also benefits companies since they reduce uncertainty and encourage to invest. The second part of the euro is economic investment and trade simulation. This part is very important because the price stimulated cross-border trade and investment for all economic agents from consumers who expect products at the lowest cost through companies who acquire more service to large institution invest. And the third part, the euro is have stable price for the growth of economy. This part talking about the activity of the central bank, we keep prices stable and trade contribute of the growth of the economy and the creation of jobs. Um, of the different part is the attractives reserved currently for third countries with high participation in the world economy. In this part, talking about of the euro, a single currency and the size of the euro area also provide new opportunities for the world economy. Eh, Talking about in this moment, central bank is the first control inflation. The primary objective of the ECB is to maintain price stability in the euro area and the control inflation of the protecting of the value of the euro. Uh, Other aspect of the central bank is management and the control monetary policy. This aspect talking about the central bank to define and excuse the monetary policy of the eurozone, direct foreign exchange operations, take care of the international reserves of the European system. Eh, Other part of the central bank is the opportunities of the benefits for citizens. In this part of the monetary policy instrument to keep price stable, which benefits the economy, personal income, and jobs creation. This instrument includes zero interest rates, letting bank to support the flow of credit on household. Eh, the function and finally part of the central bank is the principal functions that are define and excuse monetary policy of the eurozone. The second is carry out foreign exchange operations. Third is owning and managing the official foreign exchange reserves. And fourth is promote the plural functions and integration of payment and settlement systems. Okay, in this part four, talking about the 27 members state of the European Union. In this part, talking about the state that make up the European Union are Germany, Australia, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Croatia, Denmark, Slovenia, Spain, Estonia, Finland, France, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, um, Lithuania, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Czech Republic, Slovak Republic, Romania, and Sweden. The second part of the European Union is the help to create a project for the welfare of citizens. Is the talking about the began an economy, political, and social project that for the generate peace, stability, as prosperity for more the half and century. Um, Other aspect is the four fundamental freedoms of the European Union. The European Union has contributed to the raising the standard of living of Europeans, created a single currency, and is now progressive, building a single market with people, and is now progressive, good service, and capital. The four fundamental freedoms on European Union are circulate between member states with the same freedom as the because talking about the different aspects is they did within the country start out the poorly economy union as involved organization active and France development environment policy and the finally aspect is the objective of European Union is the summary it convey European mission is the 21st century is to offer peace, prosperity and stability of the sciences, overcome division of the continent, uh, uh, to generate a different aspect of the aspect of the globalization and perceive the diversity of the people Europa, different the shared of the European um, respect of the change environment security international visibility, and speak with own voice on the international forum and organization. Okay, the fifth part is the problems of the economic crisis of the European Union. The first part talking about the affected of the performance of European economy. Uh, Talking about this performance of European economy among the reason because the recession in the Union States of the was accompanied by a drop in consumption and private investment that affected business expectation in Europe. In Europe, and caused a lower demand for European goods, although the economy, the sum of Europe, countries such as Ireland, Spain, and Portugal was already being affected in the 2007 by the boarding of the real estate bubbles and expected support with shape of credits. And the second part is generate a crisis global economy. This part is very important to contextualize it, the occurrence of current Europa of the crisis within of the global economy that broke in United States in August 2007 in the subprime, which affected the world economy. The third part is negative impact of consumption. This part talking about the financial sector associated by subprime market instruments, the growing loss of employment at the economy level in general, the growth of home foreclosed, of the problems of the price of house and higher employment, the drop in consumer confidence. In this part of the presentation, talking about the spread European values, uh, talking about the first part is the show positive example to other regions of the world. In this part, talking about the values such as a respect for human rights, defense of the rule of law, protection of the environment, to generate new plans of the protecting of environment, and a free economy within a stable organized framework and the social norm, the extent to which Europa is able to assert its values for the determinate how other regions of the world view is a positive example. The other part is the management and provides citizens freedom. This part talking about the single market is the most development and open market in the world. It is based on the four fundamental freedoms of the European Union. In any European Union is the allow of citizens of the fifth is life of work in any European Union country. The second is transfer your money. Third is sell products without restrictions, and fourth is provide service under the same condition. Other part is the society in which tolerance, justice, solidarity, and no discrimination prevail. This part talking about of the European Union, values are common to the member state in a society where inclusions, tolerance, justice, solidarity, and non-discrimination prevail.
Yes, following the presentation, let's just talk about some relevant aspect the European Union. We speak of economic governance when we understand the world in which the European Union directs its country for the benefits and its economic progress in order to promote economic and social progress of the European Union and its citizens where the European Union needs a more effective model of economic governance that the economy and budgetary coordination in place until then, new tools to address macroeconomic balance and new instruments to deal with member states in a financial difficulty. The European Union is facing different shame and some common solution to provide security and confidence to each of its citizens. We find the European Union a strategy for a security union and a strategy in based on establishing tools which must be development to ensure the security of the physical environment. It also protects European from terrorism. Democracy and freedom are two values that define the European Union, where democracy is the only system of government in which people can exercise their rights and it's a key actor for development and stability. And freedom is cataloged every point in Article 2 of the Treaty on European Union.
Okay, in this part, talking about of the European Union agenda, let's start talking about the European Union face some challenges. This part talking about the first aspect is economical challenges. Is the second largest economy in the world in the nominal terms, of second of the European Union states. The European Union economy consists of a mixed economy and the market based on the free market to advance social modes. The second part is environment challenges, is the part to serious problem of the social climate terms, for the problems of the energy, supply, resources security, and the impact of demography. And the finally is the technological challenges, is the characterization for internal innovation market. This aspect is very important to European Union because they to work of the create a new ideas for the creativity and to generate to impact positive impact to all the world. Okay, in this part talking about the first female president of the European Commission. In this part talking about the Ursula of der Leyen, first president of the European Commission. She is a German politician and doctor, current president of the European Commission, born on October 8 in one 1968 in Belgium. The second part talking about the migratory goals that Ursula has. First is he promised to define European democracy and say that he will see to modify the current rules of the European Union and the order to face migration crisis that to divide the continent and toward the Frontex increasing in number of employees to 10,000. This measure will allow better control of access to the European Union. The third part, is the climate change. This part talking about the make Europe the first continental with a neutral climate by 2060, and will work to create a new green pact for the European Union in a first 100 days of mandatory of high to work. It includes measure to promote renewable energy. Okay, in this point of the presentation, talking about the increase the number of jobs, especially of young people. In this part, talking about the workers' right and new forms of work. This part talking about the minimum requirements of the European Union legislation established individual right. The working hours is the 48 hours, a minimum of 4 weeks to pay vacation, and rest period and rules about the night work. Over the years, Europe has experienced significant change in the labor is due to digitalization works, the development of the new technologies. And the second part is the European Labour Authority Plan. This plan talking about our objective is the help member states and the Commission to enforce European legislation of labor mobility and coordinate European social system work system. Companies can say they are workers of the other country of the European Union, working temporarily the European rules of the position and markets, upload ensure the equality for the same place to generate a new expectation of the people for the generate a positive aspect of the generate experience of the people in different countries of the European Union, for the generate a new opportunities of the understand new process of the different parts of the world.
The European Union continue is offer to make its governing institution more transparent and democratic. Decisions are taken as openly and as closely as a possible to citizens. More powers has been given to directly elect European Parliament, while national parliaments plays a greater role in a comparison with the European institution. Other activities are government by treaty, agreed, voluntary, and democratically by the member country. Law and justice are outlawed by independent jurisdiction. The member country have been the European Court of Justice, the competence to rule definitely on a matter of a European Union, and law is a ruling must be respected by all. New technology are impacting international trade in various ways, reducing all kind of costs, such as transportation and logistic costs by tracking and optimization the use of vehicles. Constraining and route information costs, American language, varied irrelevant, among other things, border produce through telematic service, the warranty, transparency, compliance, and sharing times, payment costs, and market research costs. From the inventory of the wheel to the STEM and guide revolution, technology has constantly played a key role in sharing economy development. After a year of investment, innovation, and technological breakthroughs that they are generate every day, we are presented with a new challenge that improve our life, even though the economy impact of these advance has gone unnoticed by the public. Okay, the European Union is the world's largest economy, accounting for more than 20% of the world gross domestic product. In this case, is a GDP. Thanks for the size of its GDP and the opens of its market with export amount 3.42 billion of euro, and imports of goods and service amounting to 2.842 billion of euros. The European Union has played a central role in sharing the international trading system, in particular by supporting the WTO. The effects of global financial crisis have adversely affected the Union economy performance. However, in some respect, the European Union economy has provided remarkably resilient compared to the other industrialized economy, and its share of world GDP has declined more slowly than that of Japan and the United States. Europe is the larger export of service and manufacturing goods, and it's also the larger market for the export of some 18 countries.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we are going to have an interview with Andrea Bamon, who is in Europa and is going to tell you talking about the general aspect of this continental. Good night, Andrea. How are you?
Hello, Nicole. I'm fine, and I pleasure for me to be with you.
Okay, Andrea, very good. Let's start then. The first is tell you the issue of governance in Europa is transformed through is the economy.
Yes, the economic governance is the system of institution and producer established to achieve the union object in the economic file. The coordination of economic policies in order to promote economic and social progress for the European Union and its serious signs, the financial, budgetary, and economic crisis that began in 2008 revealed that the Union needs a more effective model of economy governance that the economic and budgetary coordination in place up to that time.
Okay, Andrea, very good. The second is we know that the European Union made up of 27 states, but what are the four fundamental freedoms that the European Union handles?
Yes, Nicole, begin as a purely economic union has evolved into an organization that is active on fronts from development aid to the creation of a single market, offering peace, prosperity, and stability to the citizen, over division on the content, ensuring that each citizen can live in the security, promoting balance and sustainable economy and social development, meeting the change of globalization and preserving the diversity of European people.
Okay, Andrea, the third is how democracy is promoted in Europa.
This is an aspect very important in Europe. The European Union is governed by an internal system of representative democracy, and the European continent, especially Western and the Northern Europe, is a world reference in the formation, evolution, and consolidation of democratic political system and the social progress that developed in Europe during the last century was based on respect for democratic institution, movement, and values.
Okay, Andrea, is very interesting this aspect. Finally, is fourth is tell you how was the economic crisis of the European Union.
Yes, it's important to contextualize the occurrence of the current European debt crisis within the global economic crisis that was tried in the United States in August 2007 in the subprime mortgage market, and which affect the world economy, causing in some cases a slowdown in the economy and full recession in others, with fall in the country's GDP and increase in unemployment in many of them. The financial sector associated with the instrument of the subprime market, the growing loss of employment at the general economic level.
Okay, Andrea, it's very important and interesting all information that you know the Europa. We appreciate you tell you the information so that all viewers are aware of everything that happens in other parts of the world. We really appreciate you accepting this interview. Thank you very much, Andrea, and see you later.
Thank you, Nicole, and see you later.
Goodbye. Thank you very much.